From the unexplained to the mundane, come join us on a journey to the fringe. Hello and welcome to Journey to the Fringe, which, Chelsea, did you know, in the superior German version of our podcast, it is also still Journey to the Fringe? Because we assume all our German speakers speak English as well, and we only do an English version. Anyhow, we are your podcast hosts who exclusively speak English and just power forward with that, Taylor and Chelsea. Here today, following up on our weekly world news episode. I'm not really sure how this episode's going to go with how we left off the first episode, but we will see.
I know you're all looking forward to this week's episode. After we covered the weekly world news last week, where do you think this episode is going to go? Where is there to go after we covered the weekly world news in its entirety? This week, while it seems like there's nowhere to go, we're going to dive into some of the popular news stories that the weekly world news covered over his lifetime. It's going to be an even funner episode.
Oh, good. I am very excited for this because they had some absolute hits that
they
you just
really did.
wander by and like, maybe, no, I should never buy this magazine. But it's a good article title.
They were eye catchers. As we talked about last week, this is one of the rare things that have stuck into my mind out of the mind-numbingly dull trips to the grocery store.
I do have to wonder, despite how good their headlines were, ever felt the need to buy their magazine. And I wonder if anybody ever did. Just like, no, I have to buy that.
No, they did. They did.
Okay.
Because they stocked it and they sold millions of publications of it.
But do you think anybody picked it up just for one headline? Yeah, you know what? They had to. They had to.
They had to have done one-offs. They probably had a large, loyal base. It's a mystery to me because I don't know one single person that ever picked up even one. Not even
Fair
one.
point.
It should be a poll, actually. I wonder, if you listening, answer in the comments. Did you ever buy one? Do you know anyone that ever purchased one of these magazines and you found it in their home? And if so, what was your reaction? I don't even know what I would do if I found it at a relative's house. I'd probably read it, but I'd be like, finally.
Yeah, and then you wouldn't mention it to them either, I don't think.
I don't know. I probably not. I think I'd just pick it up like it was normal.
Do you think people who like had copies of the Weekly World News left it in their bathroom just for like a sparking conversation thing?
Do you think though? Because I don't know that I ever saw a magazine. Hold on. Let me think about my whole entire life. No, no, I did see mostly at our house magazines.
Were there not magazine racks in some people's bathrooms?
Just our house, I think, is where I saw.
Okay.
No, I don't think. Did I? I don't know. No, I don't know. It's just too long ago. Did you see them there?
I remember, what was the name of that? The bathroom reader in bathrooms a lot.
Yeah.
Which, man, the smartphone had to have hit them hard.
Oh, yeah. That would be an interesting one, actually. Nothing we'll ever cover, ever. But same with, shampoo bottles that didn't impact anybody. No. Okay.
No, that was just like kind of a last resort.
Maybe we should start the episode. Okay, the first one was the page 5 honey. And I took this totally different than when I actually read it. Each week, a different model was featured on page 5 and on the back. She was usually wearing a bikini, and the description of her was printed, which is bizarre. You couldn't just look at her, because you would also assume that the person was not blind, also reading the description. This feature ended after the Halloween issue of 2006. I believe from the last episode, did they not close? That would have been the last
2007.
episode. Oh, okay.
Like right near the end.
Episode, I call it.
Chelsea, you know what? Sorry. Just before we move on, does that not remind you? Like, I feel like the Sun, the newspaper magazine.
Yes.
Or newspaper. Used to have like the model that they would put in near the pages. And Weekly World News finishes in the Sun. So I'm wondering if they stole that from Weekly World News.
Oh, that's so true. And you just totally unlocked a memory that I totally forgot about was a thing. And they totally did do that. So it very well might have. Or who even knows? That might have just been a thing that was the thing to do in publications at that time. I don't know. I was too young.
Pornography was not readily available.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wonder which one did it first. It's a curiosity.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, that actually didn't come up in the research at all. Next one is alive. Also a good idea for an episode. One of the many other recurring subjects was the occasionally alive cover story. Most often, the story pertained to some sort of creature, such as mummy, prehistoric creature, or occasionally a human who had been frozen in a block of ice. Examples, Santa Claus.
Oh, okay.
I know.
Good
I
for
was
him.
expecting Walt Disney after that one, but it was Santa.
Or a caveman. I was really waiting for a caveman. Which we don't know for sure if that is different from Santa.
I guess, sure. Another subject often tackled by Weekly World News is the reemergence of many prominent figures believed to be deceased, including Hank Williams, Marilyn Monroe, John F. Kennedy, Adolf Hitler, and Michael Jackson. Survivors of the Titanic and the Hindenburg were also occasionally featured. Among the most frequently printed reports, those asserting that Elvis is alive.
Chelsea,
Yeah.
Michael Jackson died in 2009.
I was just about to say, when did Michael Jackson die? Because
Yeah, I wanted to check to make sure. But yeah, it could have been continued on.
Yeah.
It's still continued on.
They're online now, so it very well made it onto there if they still have it. The Weekly World News frequently reported Elvis sightings, with a series of articles claiming that Elvis Presley had faked his death and had recently emerged from years of seclusion to prepare for a comeback. Obviously, altered photos purported to show a gray-haired, balding Elvis sneaking into a movie theater and coming out of a Burger King restaurant. When the U.S. Postal Service conducted a poll to determine the design of the Elvis commemorative postage stamp, the Weekly World News conducted its own poll, pitting the USPS's 1950s Elvis and the 1970s Elvis versus its own 1990s Elvis. The elderly Elvis won.
Man, you know what's crazy, Chelsea? I just looked it up. Elvis was born in 35. So, like, Elvis is still alive theories could still be going on.
Technically, yeah. Have you seen a good one, though, recently?
No.
I don't know.
No, I think the craze of
up.
people who actually like Elvis is past.
Let's just bring up the website and see if it's still... This is what this episode is for. Let's just take a look. Have you... hold on. Don't go to the website. Well, you could go to the website. Elvis.
The Elvis website?
No, Weekly World News.
Oh, I'm Googling Elvis is alive.
Oh, hold on. 2021.
Found an article from 2020. It's a very chunky guy.
Oh, here we go. I got a good one. 2024. You ready for this headline?
Okay.
Steve Albini, I don't know who that is, and the ghost of Elvis team up for a musical collab.
Oh shit, that just reminded me of Bubba Hotep.
I'm not going to read the article, but this is the most recent thing we have for Elvis. However, if we look at May 28, 2012, Elvis's tomb is empty. August 16, 2011, Elvis spotted on Obama's bus tour. This is golden. All right, what's your 2021?
My 2021, 1 second here. It is...
Elvis goes to Graceland with Michael Jackson, August 16, 2010.
1 second.
Michael Jackson spotted with Elvis. Oh, this one they really like. July 1st, 2009.
This is express.co.uk. Elvis alive. The king caught on camera at Graceland and gave secret signal to fans. September 21, 2020.
This is not an Elvis spotted, but I really want to read this. January 7, 2009, top 20 surprising Elvis facts. I'm just really curious about what they have for surprising Elvis facts on here. Number 1, Elvis's income dropped from $400,000 a month to $78 a month after he was drafted into the U.S. Army on December 19, 1957. Okay, that seems legit. Number 2, the King's entourage were known collectively as the Memphis Mafia. All sported diamond and gold rings given to them by Elvis, on which a thunderbolt and the letters TCB had been imprinted. TCB stood for taking care of business. Number 3, the Beatles visited Elvis at his home in California in 1965, joining him in an informal jam session that tragically wasn't recorded. Number 4, Elvis called milk butch.
Okay.
Okay, I'm just gonna have to start calling milk that. Number 5, Elvis gave away so many cars, including Corvettes, Cadillacs, and Lincolns, that nobody... Butch.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing in like the 60s?
I don't know. That nobody has ever been able to come up with an accurate count. Number 6, the king's last car was a 1976 Cadillac Eldorado, which sported gold-plated hubcaps, TV, and a bar. That's a nice feature. Do they do that anymore? Do you think?
Yeah, they call it limos.
Not that I could afford a car with a bar, so I wouldn't know. Number 7, Elvis's concert jumpsuits were given names. They include Peacock, White Prehistoric Bird, Flame, Gypsy, Mad Tiger, and King of Spades. All good names. The only one that's missing is something something Pope Jr. I can't remember his name. Number 8, the only thing I remember. Pope Jr. The King's manager, Colonel Tom Parker, made more than Elvis. He got 50% of what the star made from 1967 on, and then earned extra pay as the technical advisor on Elvis's films. Number 9, the King's first guitar cost $12.95. Number 10, football was the King's favorite sport, and the Cleveland Browns were his favorite team. Number 11, Elvis's favorite movie was James Dean's Rebel Without a Cause, which he memorized line by line. Number 12, some of Elvis's bejeweled jumpsuits weighed more than 25 pounds. He was actually blonde, dyed it black. He owned 37 guns, liked them so much. He wore a 2-shot Derringer during live performances in the 70s. He awarded 2 medals while serving in the army. One for expert marksmanship and the other sharpshooter. Elvis wore a cross, the Hebrew letter Chai, and Star of David around his neck. I don't want to miss out on heaven due to a technicality, he said.
Just in case, yeah, I get that.
Yeah, that's just smart. Elvis recorded more than 600 songs in his music career, but didn't write a single one of them. Elvis's favorite meal, pork chops with ground gravy and apple pie for dessert. Among the many nicknames Elvis went by were E, Big L, the bopping hillbilly, the cat, the chief, Mr. Dynamite, and of course the king. Okay, the one that I find the best out of all of that is that he called milk butch.
I still don't know what that means.
I don't know, but I really
does that mean he said, "Can I get a glass of butch"?
Yes.
Okay.
And you would have to know what that means to give him the right thing. Right?
You would have to.
Like if someone
was this a common thing
you.
to know in the 50s and 60s?
Oh no. Okay, this isn't a podcast about Elvis, so we
should move on.
Unless there's still stuff about Elvis, of course, to read. Okay. In 1994, the newspaper ran a front cover with the headline, Elvis Presley Dead, 1994. Stating that Elvis was now really dead from heart failure after slipping into a diabetic coma. In 2004, Washington Post article on Claunce's death, humorist Gene Weingarten claimed that he and Dave Barry were the sources of the story. According to Weingarten, the Weekly World News later reported that claims of Elvis's belated death had been a hoax. Weird. Next popular column, you're going to like this one.
The later death was a hoax in that he was still alive or he had died earlier.
Probably that.
He was still alive.
He was still alive. I'm just assuming here.
Yeah, but it's weird. I don't know which way it would go in real life.
I know. You got to think that he's still alive. Next popular column. You're going to like this one. The world's fattest.
I remember these, actually.
Numerous stories regarding shockingly obese people made the pages of Weekly World News, the most popular of which was Roland Gillespie, the world's fattest man. After Roland was first discovered, Weekly World News encouraged readers to send in their guesses as to exactly how much they believe Roland weighed. Weighing in at 576.2 pounds, Roland was featured being weighed and measured, and the crew was possibly sat on by the world's fattest man. Later stories involved Roland's attempts to lose weight through the OMAD diet, his struggle with near-fatal obesity, and claims that he ate his family.
You just really gotta...
That's classy.
Was the Weekly World News just ahead of its time for... Is it TLC or the History Channel? It has like my 100-pound life.
Oh, it's definitely TLC, and I'm a big fan.
Okay.
So I was just going to say, big fan of this column. I think it was just a trailblazer of its time, because this probably is the first of what I truly love as trash TV. I don't watch much TV, but the TV I do choose to watch is just the absolute shittiest shows you can find on television. My 600-pound life being one. You know, I was picturing the two guys on motorcycles is who I was expecting to
those
see
guys.
Here. Yeah. Do they come up?
You gotta understand that morbid obesity had a different view, like mid-90s onwards and mid-90s backwards.
Oh, yeah. This is definitely different than you see on my 600 pound.
Yeah. No, like morbid obesity used to be like something you had to work at, like hard to do.
It wasn't just something.
No, it's mistake after like solitude.
Yeah. With our food the way it is now, with all the palm oils and chemicals, it's very easy to attain them.
Yeah. No, there used to be like
my 600-pound life.
Big cities used to have prestigious groups called like the Fat Man's Clubs. And they were very proud that they were fat in the 20s.
Well, yeah, and you look at throughout history, like the plump ladies were the richest because they could afford to eat.
Yeah, and they were the most attractive. They were able to get to that level.
Yeah, that's just how I choose to see myself now, is well off. Little do they know. Other stories featured the exploits of the world's fattest couple at the gym, the world's fattest baby, and even a similar weight guessing contest featuring the world's fattest dog.
Wait. We have to stop at this. How would you consider it the world's fattest dog? Because they have such different breeds.
Well, he'd have to be chonky.
Well, I would have to assume it's a pug, but like a pug who weighs 80 pounds is different than like a husky who weighs like 150 pounds.
I've never seen a fat husky. Have you?
No, but it's in the name.
Wow.
It's a little husky.
Can you just search the world's
fattest? Husky is husky.
Because you're really going to enjoy the images that come up from there.
Okay.
This is a little more than chonky.
Chelsea, I'm sorry. I just Googled I binged world's fattest dog and it told me English Mastiff. Oh, that's a good picture. Oh, those dogs.
Zobra. I got an angry sausage.
I get a lot of sausage dogs, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of pugs, though, as well. So
there's a lot of AI, too.
Oh, boy, that was a good one. I did enjoy the search. That was nice.
This might be making the photo for this episode.
One continuing story featured a morbidly obese man named Buster Simkus, who had lost so much weight that it left 80 pounds of loose skin hanging off his body. That's a chonker. He couldn't even walk.
I wouldn't call him world's fattest, though. Like,
no,
sausage
that's
dogs do not
fattest,
have to gain that much weight to be able to not walk.
Definitely couldn't walk, I don't think.
No, but that's the thing about sausage dogs, is they have short legs.
Oh, boy.
They don't.
Yeah.
They don't have the ability to gain
It's easy to get out of hand.
Yeah.
Okay. Buster Simkus.
Like a Great Dane, they got a lot of room to
exactly.
to not walk.
Exactly. This guy's just 5 pounds overweight.
Yeah.
Okay, Buster Simkus. He lost so much weight that it left 80 pounds of loose skin hanging off his body that he was planning on having surgically removed. By the next story, he had regained the weight, severely damaging his scars. That's sad. Okay, well, where are the motorcycle fat boys?
That's a real question that we
cycle fat boys. Okay, it just brings up motorcycles. So what is the search term that I'm missing here? Fat guys?
Fat twins.
Billy Leon and Benny Lloyd McCary, known together as the McGuire twins, were listed in the Guinness Book of... they're Guinness Book of World Records.
They're the world's fattest twins, aren't they?
As the world's heaviest twins. A well-known Guinness photo depicts the twins riding their Honda motorcycles, which they rode across country for promotion. Well, that's sad that they weren't the Weekly World News. Oh yeah, they're there. Okay, well, we learned something here on this episode. Up next, upcoming economic depressions. Weekly World News covered stories that featured analysis of coming Great Depressions in the immediate future, in which many prominent celebrities, politicians, and icons of business would become penniless. The cover story of the June 6, 2005.
You gotta be happy with the rich person loses everything storyline.
I was literally just thinking, and I was going to comment.
Not enough people cover that.
Yeah, it's a pull to the regular people.
Yeah.
That the 1% is going to fall? Yes. Of course.
They're going to hate it. Well, we're all going to love it. Yeah.
And of course, at this time, the 1% are not like the 1% that we see now, but...
No, but you got to remember, too, that the people who own the newspapers are usually in the 1%, so they're going to say, like, oh, no, people aren't going to like the story because I don't like the story. So we're not printing.
Yeah. But they're going for it, and I fucking love that. The cover story of the June 6, 2005 issue warned that the Second Great Depression was just weeks away. Because of this, Texas oil tycoons were planning to flee to Luxembourg, the only country to survive this economic crash. Consequences of this depression would include mass starvation, a disease epidemic, mobs of looters, and a return to pagan religions and Satanism. Do you remember when that happened?
Yeah, I think it was right around the time when the people from Nibiru showed up.
That's exactly when it did. Yeah. When the ninth, is it the ninth?
It was right around 2012.
Around
yeah, 9th now. Around that time, it was the 10th. But then right around the same time, the scientists came out and said, well, technically, it's not actually the 10th planet because it's the 9th planet because Pluto doesn't exist. Yeah.
That was all like in and around the same time.
What a weird time.
It was really I know, it was really chaotic. There's a lot of stuff
people were really angry about that stuff.
Oh, totally. Another typical Weekly World News topic was Bible-related findings. That included relics from Noah's Ark, the Garden of Eden, claimed by the tabloid to be in Colorado. However, we do know from very recent within the podcast history of time, supposedly in Sumeria.
Yeah.
Not Colorado, maybe. The discovery of additional commandments from God, and sandals worn by Jesus. You know, products were well made back then to stand.
Just planned obsolescence has really ruined everything.
It really fucking has. The magazine also reported on when Jesus will return to Earth and held an interview with Sisyphus when he finished his eternal boulder hauling workout.
Oh, Sisyphus, yeah.
Sisyphus.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, those ones are a little bit hard. Other stories stated that natural disasters such as earthquakes and human economic activity like drilling for oil have opened up gates and portals from hell, as they do, from which demons have escaped to wreak havoc upon the earth.
I do actually think that is the worst thing that the oil and gas industry has done, is cover up that portion and not the global warming thing. It is the demons that they keep unleashing upon us.
But you know what? I've also heard that that's, it's not all of why the billionaires are losing their beaches, but it's at least a part of it.
Yeah. It's not an insignificant amount either.
Yeah, it's rarely covered at all.
It's Thalog's unperturbed arm that is throwing the waves up onto the riches of the land. Yeah. We might cover it in Fringy Mini at some point.
We probably will if we were to find an article on it.
Yeah.
And we might if they're still publishing things like
Actually, Chelsea, you know what? I just found...
We should use them more often.
Yeah. I just found the article here. If you want to take a look in general. It's this bad boy right here.
You just sent me this bear with boobs again.
Man boobs, yeah. That's the article. Anyhow.
It's a good article.
Yeah. It's well stated.
Okay. A story shortly after September 11th, 2001 showed the face of Satan appearing in a cloud of dust caused by the collapse of the World Trade Center. I think we all remember that. Similar stories wherein Satan's face had appeared in a thunderstorm had appeared before. Again, I just want to state, I feel like I would have been fantastic at the Weekly World News. I feel like I'm qualified to work there. I really do.
Chelsea, I always thought my dream job would be naming fifth wheels and motorhomes. But I do, in fact, think it would have been waiting for the weekend news now that we did this.
Give me a name.
Well, no, see, I saw an RV once named the Cousin Eddie 2. And I thought that that's what I wanted to get into, but I don't know how.
Yeah.
But like,
I feel like you could do better than the Cousin too.
Yeah.
I
Well,
feel
see,
like
I would
there's
name one the
better ways to
Rambler.
go.
I think I would call one the Open Road, which I don't think I've ever seen.
No, you know what? You don't see.
I think Journeyman's a great name for a motorhome.
Yeah, you don't see motorhomes named the same way that you see boats named.
Yeah, you just don't. They have very specific things.
Yeah. Yeah. The next heading is terrorism. And following the terrorist attack on September 11, 2001.
I was just going to ask if they had it before 2001, but that answers it.
Yes. I hate to bring up Alex Jones again, but the craziest thing to me about Alex Jones is that he predicted the terrorist attacks on September 11, 2001.
He didn't, though.
He did.
No, he didn't. If you look at it, there are things around what he actually predicted that are not specifically that, and it has a lot to do with that weird X-Files shoot-off that happened at the same time. And then when it actually did happen, he said it was the European Union that did it.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
He specifically said that it was going to be, I can't remember exactly what it was. I just listened to it yesterday.
No, but whenever you actually see him cover something correctly, it's usually because he had 5 different spins. Sorry, 5 is very limited.
Oh, yeah, like the whole thing
on the same target.
was him just predicting everything, but he specifically said it was going to be Osama bin Laden, and it happened 6 days after he fucking said it, and it's the only thing he's ever accurately got right, but then he went on and like got it completely wrong after it happened.
Yeah, on the day of, he said it was the European Union that did it.
That's exact, but he got it right like 6 days before it happened, and I just thought that was craziest thing. Why is this becoming not all about Alex Jones, but
it's very adjacent to Alex Jones, what we're talking about right now.
God damn it. It is. Following the terrorist attack on September 11, 2001, Weekly World News featured articles about plans for future terrorist attacks on the United States of America. 2004 cover story described plans by Kim Jong-il to eventually invade and conquer the United States.
You know what? I would believe Kim Jong-il definitely had those plans. Like they were there.
Yeah.
They were 100%. For sure there.
Yeah.
And Chelsea, do you know, never mind. It's just going to be a picture of the big bear again.
I knew it was Other stories feature profiles on the location and nature of Iraq's weapons of mass destruction, which who would have fucking thought that we're still talking about it today? Including the news that Saddam Hussein had an arsenal of giant slingshots.
Well, to be fair, he did have a Stargate, too.
He did. It's not mentioned here, but it also mentions missing Lincoln dinosaur.
Oh, how else would he get that but a Stargate?
How would he?
Chelsea, I would even say that he had hybrids of animals mixed with dinosaurs, but it's just going to be a picture of the bear again.
100%. Yeah. But I would expect to see that bear more in Russia, probably. Yeah. He seems Russian.
Mostly from his background, yeah.
He is definitely the image for this week's episode. I don't know why. I can't tell you how it relates to this episode.
But it's beautiful.
Yeah, he's beautiful. Just as he is. In 2003, a series of articles profiled the ongoing relationship between an eventual marriage of Saddam Hussein and Osama bin Laden.
It was always kind of an undercurrent of the story.
Okay.
Of the love affair between
It was
Saddam
just
and
assumed.
Osama.
Okay.
Yeah.
Other stories have made claims that bin Laden was actually a dwarf, that he recruited and cloned Adolf Hitler to join Al-Qaeda, and that he was in fact dead long before his actual death, and that the CIA was keeping it a secret. After his being captured by Bat Boy, Saddam was humiliated by female prison guards, won the United States lottery, and even demanded that the government pay for his sex change operation. Oh, what a beautiful piece of reporting. Presidency. is the next headline that they reported on often. The Weekly World News has often been the home of political satire regarding current and past presidential administrations. The magazine reported that the founding fathers were all gay and that George Washington and Abraham Lincoln were actually women. According to the paper, President Lincoln was insane, and his ghost had also been spotted in the White House, giving President George W. Bush advice on the war in Iraq. Stories about President George W. Bush capitalized on the public's perception that he lacked intelligence. The paper chronicled his plans to run for Pope, his love affair with Janet Reno, and his intention to nominate Yoda as Secretary.
Oh man, I kind of forgot that Janet Reno was a person and that Will Ferrell played her on Saturday Night Live for a while.
I just clicked on her and she looks like Will Ferrell.
Oh yeah, she's got some broad shoulders.
Yep. The June 21st, 2004 issue stated that Vice President Dick Cheney was actually a robot and that his frequent trips to the hospital allowed him to rewire circuits. I'm pretty sure that is the same with JD Vance. Pretty sure. If you looked it up, I'm sure it would be the same.
Chelsea, I don't think they can make software that awkward at this point.
No,
I just don't think they have the technology for it.
I always thought he was a prototype and they're just working out the bugs. Is what I thought was going on.
No, you have to intentionally make somebody that awkward and unhuman. Like, it can't be accidental or just like not enough information. Like, it is.
That's true. It
is actually, in fact, too much information about how humanity works that allows you to say this is anti-human.
It's true. You could only be human to be that anti-human.
Yeah. Or potentially an alien. Like, I could see something like a reptilian being able to be that anti-human.
That is very true. And that does belong in the Weekly World News. I wonder, we'll take a look at the website after. We'll see if there's a place that you can submit stories, because that should definitely be one that they should be covering.
It says greatest people with an exclamation mark on their website. Oh, search. I'm going to search a few things while you keep going.
Okay, next one, aliens. Our beloved. Aliens are another subject frequently tackled by the Weekly World News. World News blamed these creatures for holes in the ozone, which I'm pretty sure ended up being correct. A Roswell crash survivor, Altair Bob, made contact with the Weekly World News via telepathic email. This actually seems pretty on par with like Serpo, sadly. Several factions of extraterrestrials have been using the moon to dump garbage. Martians have been monitoring the Mideast crisis. Warrior aliens have been resurrecting the dead, fighting Bigfoot, and training in a mock U.S. town hidden in Antarctica. San Franciscans have opened their hearts to immigrants from Mercury. One such alien named P-Lod, who made several appearances in Weekly World News, has been known to fraternize with known women of politics. It was reported that he and Hillary Clinton once had a close relationship that ended up in a brawl between him and President Bill Clinton, who went on a jealous rage. After P-Lod left Hillary Clinton, he expressed a lot of interest in Condoleezza Rice. A June 15, 1993 cover announced Hillary Clinton's adoption of an alien baby.
It should also be known that apparently Vance shows up in many articles on Weekly World News, but they don't seem to have to do with JD Vance. And then I just realized I don't know what the J or the D stand for. So I can't actually search his name.
Yeah, but doesn't he just go by JD Vance?
Well, he does, and I don't think he's actually cool enough to have said that the J and D stand for Jack Daniels or something like that during like his university years.
No, I feel like he wouldn't have always gone by G for sure. Okay, well, that's sad. And the August 11, 1998 edition, Weekly World News reported that autograph dealer Steve Koshal offered to pay $1 million for anything signed by an extraterrestrial. Koshal said he would pay the $1 million to anyone who had a signed letter or signed photograph or anything signed by a visitor for outer space. Quote, hundreds of people claim to have been abducted and taken aboard UFOs, and yet there's not a single verifiable signature of an extraterrestrial being anywhere on Earth. end quote. And he's going by this with an autograph. He said in an exclusive interview, quote, someone out there must have asked one of these creatures for an autograph, end quote, continued Koshel. Quote, if not, someone will in the future. When they do, I want to be the first collector to acquire it, end quote. The subject of space aliens endorsing U.S. presidential candidates in various elections was also a recurring topic. During the 2000 U.S. presidential election, then candidate George W. Bush posed for photographs with the Weekly World News issue, opened the article reading Space Aliens Back Bush for President. Next up on the topic of conversations of the Weekly World News that we're calling them now, cryptids and half animal, half human hybrids are another frequent topic of the Weekly World News. Creatures such as Bigfoot, mer people, real life cat woman, half alligator, half humans, frog babies, kangaroo women, and many other creatures have taken the world by storm on various covers. For example, we have the abominable beach man strikes terror in Hawaii, and Bigfoot steals race car. I love the English on that one, including the aforementioned Bat Boy. Next one that they covered quite frequently, merfolk, as we mentioned on the previous one. And I must say, on the cryptid one, you know, of all the cryptids we've covered and find humor in, not one of these seem to be anything that we've actually covered as an actual cryptid. They all just seem to be, other than Bigfoot and mer people, of course, we have.
And not in the way that we cover them either. Like Bigfoot stealing a race.
They all just seem completely made up, which is hilarious. I just love that Bigfoot is stealing a race. I would totally cover something like that. As somebody emailed us, please, if you have a story like that, we will cover it.
We will talk about it for sure. Like, without question.
Oh, yeah. Next one, merfolk. And that is the existence of mermen and mermaids, which is also frequently reported in the pages of Weekly World News. One detailed article recounted a mermaid being caught in a fishing net off the coast of Florida in April 17, 2004. According to the article, she was at least half human, very sociable, and extremely intelligent.
At least?
At least.
So she could be fully human.
She could have been a little bit more human or
she
less.
She could have been fully.
A little bit more or less than half.
No, she couldn't be less.
Yes. Oh, no. At least would mean at least more or more.
Equal to or greater than, yeah.
And was able to talk in sophisticated three-dimensional language, whatever that means.
Do we not?
That depends heavily on noises that could possibly be connected to the click languages prevalent in parts of Africa.
Okay.
And on hand movements that look like sign language. Holy shit. Oh boy. Similar to their female counterparts, mermen are found within the pages of the Weekly World News. On June 17, 2003, a merman was reported to have been caught in the South Pacific, this one measuring only 28 inches.
Just over 2 feet, okay.
Whew. And that is going to lead us to our last and perhaps most popular...
Bat Boy,
what are they called? It's Bat Boy. It's
Yeah.
Bat Boy. Is definitely Bat Boy. Yeah.
He has his own scroll down.
Oh, he does.
On Weekly World News because he owns Weekly World News now.
He pretty much does. Yeah.
No, he does. Yeah. He said Weekly World News was bought by Bat Boy Inc.
Yeah.
Bat Boy
You're going to be very impressed
called.
by Bat Boy. Prepared to be impressed. Taylor, I know you've been looking at Weekly World News while I've been talking. If you could please just scroll through. If you see anything of interest for Bat Boy, I'm also going to see if you found anything else. But if you see anything of interest of Bat Boy, because we're on Bat Boy, and would like to follow up the section with it, please.
I see it's all about his 30-year anniversary right now. Not right now, but like one of the most
30
recent
years?
things. And not only that, that's from 2022. So he goes back to 92. So he's 33 years old. And he was found as a boy. So he's probably like 40 years old at this point.
Yeah.
And
he's a millennial,
going through
like
shit.
us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So Bat Boy was first featured in 1992, as Taylor just told us. And after being found in a cave in West Virginia, in the Lost World caverns, which
Sorry.
I don't know if there's any ties to Mothman in that, and I don't know if that's why you're gasping.
No, it's because Taylor Swift had an ultrasound and there's a little bat boy baby, maybe?
Oh,
Question
no.
mark? Yeah, in 2020.
Wow.
I don't know the gestation time on a bat boy.
I don't know. We'll leave that.
Wow,
with
there's
you
a lot of
ponder.
Taylor Swift bat boy stuff in the 2020s.
Ah, that's fucking weird. He has since led police on high-speed chases, fought in the War on Terror, led the troops to capture Saddam Hussein. I'm not sure if you guys knew that. Bitten Santa Claus. Santa Claus has come up
He probably
more
deserved
times
it.
than I would have expected him.
Yeah.
Probably, too, in this episode. And traveled to outer space, as I would expect Batboy to be able to do. In 2000, he gave his endorsement to Al Gore.
He's
seeing a
surprisingly
weird-
political, actually.
Yeah, he is. It was foretold that Batboy would become president in 2028. We're not there yet. We could only hope.
Holy
at
shit,
this
is
point-
Batboy Andrew Basiago?
Hold on a second.
Because he was told he would be president by 2028.
You know what? I'm not at all disappointed by these candidates. And I feel like either one would be a good option. I'm just putting it out there.
Looking forward to this presidential run if that's it.
Totally. The story of Batboy was the basis for an acclaimed off-Broadway musical, Batboy the Musical, in which Batboy meets a tragic end, which
Chelsea?
is super sad.
I just need to...
Yeah.
Is that for real or is that from the Weekly World News?
The Batboy musical?
Yeah.
No, it's for real.
Okay. It's just hard to tell with how it was put.
Okay, no, it's for real. 1997 was the world premiere in Los Angeles.
Okay.
In 2001, it was off Broadway. In 2003, it was in St. Louis. 2004, it was the West End, which I believe would be London.
Yes.
No, it's New York.
Oh.
2021, it was in Auckland.
Oh, wow.
It was a for real thing in which Batboy meets a tragic end, which is super sad. In addition to articles, Batboy has been featured in a comic strip since 2004, though it is said that only the articles are the true story of Batboy, which I don't know, there may be some gray area there. I don't feel like it would be the true story of Batboy because Weekly World News had him from the start. On July 31st, 2024, it was reported by the website Deadline that Netflix was developing a Batboy live-action television series. To this day, the Batboy saga continues on the website, Taylor.
Yeah. Well, like you said in the first half, Batboy bought the Weekly World News, so it's gonna have a lot going on with him.
Yeah, and they skyrocketed him to fandom. Did you find any good articles about?
Yeah. Well,
If I click on him, I'm not sure about this weird guy that's totally naked with no wiener.
He's on the run from the FBI with cryptids, I think is what that picture's trying to say.
He is. Okay.
But the big thing that's happened to him in the last 5 years is one, his apparent love affair with Taylor Swift where they had a child together. And then two, apparently he was in the 2020 election as a candidate with VP Bigfoot.
They would have immediately had my vote. You wouldn't have even had to ask. I wouldn't have said liberal, conservative. It wouldn't have even mattered.
No, but yeah, those are the big things in the last 5 years for Batboy.
I mean, his whole life has just been headlines.
Oh, yeah.
So that's all from me. Did you come across anything else on your searches on the Weekly World
I
News
just find
that
it
you wanted to
interesting
highlight?
that they have very rarely strayed away from the original Batboy photo with the face on Batboy.
No, it's still very much
still
using that
the exact
on
same
every
picture
single.
of Batboy.
Yeah, the Batboy you're picturing in your head, it's on every single picture now. Be it political running, be it probably Taylor Swift ultrasound. No, that one's just
No,
an
it's Taylor
ultrasound.
Swift and ultrasound, yeah.
Yeah, that one doesn't have the face, but
There's another Taylor Swift one below.
He
but-
tests negative for the coronavirus.
With
I think
Bigfoot,
he's at
yeah.
a podium in the White House.
Yep.
I don't know if he's president there or not. He might
No,
be.
still running.
Oh, still running. Okay. Yeah, Yeah, all the Bat Boy stuff. So the website is very much up and running. You can get a free subscription to Bat Boy, not Bat Boy, Weekly World News. They do have a shop where you can buy all sorts of things, including a Bat Boy shirt.
Oh, sorry. I just realized there's a picture where he didn't test positive for coronavirus. And there's two people standing beside him. One's Bigfoot, and the other one apparently is PhD Ape, who is apparently a mutant. And he has his own heading under mutants.
I did not point out PhD Ape, but there's various things that they seem to cover now on the website. So across the headings on the website, you'll find aliens, and they cover Gutans, Z-bands, and UFO sightings, which are very close to what are the Serpo guys? Ebens. Very close.
Yeah, I actually find these guys weirdly adjacent to the paranormal and like the Alex Jones and a mix of the Onion in there.
Yeah, I found that as well.
And I don't know, mutants. I think they've lost relevance because they're too close to the conspiracy.
I feel like that's how they always were,
Well, the problem is the conspiracies got too outlandish.
Yeah, just reading what they have on here: aliens, zombies, Bigfoot, PhD Ape, Bat Boy, vampires, Manigator, Bat Boy, greatest people, press, and about. And greatest people, it's just people who probably pay for stuff, and headlines. And anger is still on there, but yeah, they're still going. I think they've more than anything now gone all in.
Wilder, on Bat Boy.
On the conspiracy stuff and Bat Boy. I mean, Bat Boy seems to be what they got the most recognition for, and why not go with that if that's what got you there? Yeah.
That's where they are.
Anything to add?
No, I think that is a great summary of this grocery store nostalgia that is.
Yes.
Thank you for doing this, Chelsea. Do you have fun with the research?
You're welcome. What?
Did you have fun with the research?
I did. It was very fun to look at. I did, as you notice, find a few parallels with some stuff that we see in the paranormal community / conspiracy community. Oddly enough, I brought up Alex Jones a couple times.
Well, and like I've said, like these guys inherit such a weird place in the middle of like where conspiracies are now and the Onion.
Yeah, and I mean, when you listen to guys like Alex David Wilcock, for instance, for examples of stuff like that, even with stuff like Project Serpo, it's just so blatantly in your face lies. Sorry to put it so bluntly for people who believe in the stuff that they're saying. You know, all the grifters that are
basically
around.
Anybody we've talked about,
And to me, it's hitting the same marks, just you get a little bit more...
A little more satirical,
Exactly. But other than that, it could be anything that they're saying.
It could be the Onion.
And they're spouting off. It very well could be anything that they're saying, which I think is the funny part about it.
Yeah, well, it's almost a little sad that they fed these lies and died out. Because they weren't quite the right kind of lies.
Exactly. Yet these people keep doing YouTube lies to make money. And even live lives saying that they just need to make money. So, I mean, at least they're still going.
Yeah.
And
Chelsea, thank you for this introspection of what a lot of our childhood or life was back in the day going through the grocery line. And with that, I have been Taylor, here with Chelsea. We are Journey to the Fringe. Thank you all for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Goodbye.
Thank you for listening to Journey to the Fringe. If you have liked what you have listened to, please like, share, subscribe, or follow, depending on what venue you are listening to us through. Also, please, if possible, leave a 5-star review, as that really helps us in the algorithms. Should you wish to interact with us, please check us out on your social media of choice. I bet you we are there. And if you really want to communicate with us and give us ideas for new episodes or tell us that we're wrong and terrible, either way, please send us an email at journeytothefringe@gmail.com. For now, I'll see you in the next episode.